and hit the spot.
Sometime we'll go back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. Today we're looking at David Fincher's filmography and figuring out what is his best film. He'll tell you the rules and we'll get into it.
Two movies pop up. We decide which one moves on and which one is eliminated. If we disagree, we play rock, paper, scissors to decide. And if one of us has seen both the movies, but the other person has only seen one of them, or neither of them, the person who's seen both of them gets to decide, which is not going to happen a lot on this list, but it
don't think so.
Is going to happen on the very first pick, because I have not seen Panic Room. But the first round is Fight Club versus Panic Room.
I would go with Fight Club either way, so.
Hooray.
For sure.
Next up, we have Zodiac, which I was just talking about, and I didn't even know what this bracket was, versus Alien 3. What an easy choice.
Yeah. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah. The movie that the man doesn't even want to own anymore. Yeah. Mank versus Seven.
I think Mank is probably his second weakest film of all time.
So I think that when you watch a movie that you see is directed by David Fincher, you have this like certain expectation.
Yes.
And Mank has like Fincher-ness at points, but it doesn't feel like a David Fincher movie. And so that's why I think that, like, I don't disagree with you necessarily, but I think that that's why that is. It has nothing to do with it not being a very well directed, very well acted, like solid movie. It is just in a bracket where we're talking about what's the best David Fincher movie. It's definitely not Mank. So 7.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Okay, Fight Club versus Zodiac.
I'm going Fight Club. Zodiac is a little too long.
It is long.
There's more parts of Fight Club I enjoy. The iconic characters. The meaningfulness this film has on my love of cinema.
Yeah.
Is like through the fucking roof. Between this and Fight Club, I don't know if we're making YouTube videos today.
Yeah, that's true.
Zodiac is something I'm popping in every 3 to 4 years. Where Fight Club, I could probably watch that yearly.
Yeah.
So Fight Club for me.
Yeah, looking at it, I am realizing that I really don't like this movie poster at all.
Oh, it's horrible.
Fight Club. This is a really, really bad movie poster. And It's like, I think this is supposed to be Brad Pitt's hand, but it's way too big.
Yeah.
Like, this is an awful movie. Well, this movie is pretty dang good. And you can, make all the film bro comments you want or whatever. But the fact is, the movie is really, really important to a lot of people's appreciation for film and showing what kind of things you can do with film other than, like, generic action movies or rom-coms, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Fight Club. I love Zodiac a lot, but it's Fight Club.
Ooh, pit on pit crime.
So Fight Club versus Seven.
Damn.
I like Zodiac more than I like Seven. So I feel like by default, if I picked Fight Club over Zodiac, I have to pick it over Seven, which I probably would anyways. But Seven, I will give it credit to your point about Zodiac, is a little bit more concise and like compact in like the ways that it needs to be.
Acting incredible as well.
Yeah.
That look of the film grit really like defined his career in the early 2000s and 90s.
Yeah.
Like what a David Fincher film looks like. The iconicness of Fight Club is on a whole nother level though. This is hard. No Diddy. I'm gonna go with Fight Club. I'm more invested in Fight Club, and when Brad Pitt turns on Edward Norton, I'm upset.
Yeah.
I'm really upset.
And that also is a point in the movie where I feel like you were probably interested in what was going on the whole movie, but when that happens, you were like locked in.
Yeah. It's cool. It's edgy. It has this message. It makes you feel like you're a part of something, and then when that happens, you're like confused. You're like, this isn't what I signed up for. You're picking sides, and like,
All of a sudden,
It
there's
elevates.
a penguin out of nowhere.
Yeah. Slide.
Yeah. Social Network versus The Game.
Social Network, I got to it too late. Where it just... Oh, this is the best film of the 2010s.
Yeah. It really might be. It's an incredible movie.
It was too hyped up for me, honestly. But The Game is a decent, okay thriller. So, Social Network gets the dub for me.
It's the right choice. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo versus The Killer.
We talked about this with Mank.
Yeah.
When I see a David Fincher film being released, my expectation is high for good reason. Track record speaks for itself. Underwhelming for me between Fassbender, who doesn't always work with the best directors. You look at The Snowman and his misses in some of the X-Men films.
Sure.
He's great. He's just in a lot of bad movies.
Yeah.
So, I was really looking forward to that. Underwhelming. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is top tier, incredible shit. Probably my third or fourth favorite Fincher film.
Yeah. It's
So
definitely
go.
top 3 for me, probably.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, The Killer, it just like what you said and what I initially said, like there's expectations when you see certain directors' names pop up on films. The Killer did not feel that different to me than many other like Netflix type movies that are in a very similar vein. You know, so like is The Killer trying to be as funny as The Hitman was? No, but I think you could very easily put those movies in the same category, and not because they're both kind of about contract killers. Like they have similar feels, similar vibes, and it just, you know, I don't get me wrong. If I'm a director, I don't want to make the same shit over and over and over again. It's like it's good that he stepped out of his box. It just is not his best. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is incredible and is kind of exactly what you're expecting from a David Fincher movie in all of the best ways. So definitely that. And also, like, I understand that this is not a new take. What BS that we never got the rest of that trilogy. Like,
yeah, and then they like tried to make a story of it again.
Yeah,
That didn't connect, and it was just like trashed. So we're probably never getting that until like 15, 20 years from now.
Yeah. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button versus Gone Girl.
I really like Weird Forrest Gump more than like most other people.
I don't think it's that bad of a movie.
I think it's very charming.
Yeah,
It is weird at times,
for sure.
but Gone Girl is one of the best thrillers ever made.
Yeah.
So Gone Girl is the pick for me.
I don't know how, but this movie is like Forrest Gump and Big Fish, like somehow rolled up together in a weird way. Gone Girl is absolutely incredible.
I never thought about that. I wish Tim Burton would have directed Benjamin
Well,
Button.
and that's what I was thinking when I said that. Yeah. But did it like he did Big Fish, not too Tim Burton-y, but like.
I wonder how Pitt would. I love the casting.
Yeah.
I wonder how Pitt would fare in a Tim Burton film. That'd be so interesting.
Yeah,
I was about to say good, but I was like, I don't know.
I don't think it'd be that bad. I mean, Pitt's like, he seems pretty malleable.
He's open-minded.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not like a straight weirdo.
Oh, I was an idiot and didn't know what malleable meant. Is that what you're... is that what happened there?
Yeah, malleable means like easy to shape.
Okay.
Like, if you hit it with a hammer, will it leave a dent?
Okay.
You know? Like, so, yeah, that would be really interesting. Anyways, has nothing to do with this bracket. I would also go with Gone Girl, hands down. Okay, Social Network versus The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Maybe I need to watch Social Network again, but it did not hit the first time I watched it. I was very disappointed because you're told you're going to get one of the best films of all time, and you got like a B+ picture, in my opinion. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I'm locked in, edge of my seat. Entertainment, filmmaking, 10 and 10. I'm going with Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with the not unpopular take that The Social Network may be the best movie of the 2010s. But that's like a top to bottom, like filmmaking, script, acting, directing, all that stuff, right? That doesn't make it an engaging movie to watch.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe where your disconnect with it is a lot, because especially when you're comparing these two. Like, this movie is dark as shit, has a great mystery that he does such a good job of like building suspense around. We've said it before, like David Fincher is probably the closest thing that the world will ever get to Alfred Hitchcock in terms of building suspense in a film and like pulling an audience in with it. And you actually get like kind of glimpses of that in The Social Network, but nothing like what you do with actual crime. But this movie is dark and thrilling, and the characters are really interesting, and it's isolating. Like, it just does so many things really, really, really well. And I think the only reason that it doesn't get more love in terms of Fincher movies is because some people just can't handle the subject matter of parts of it, and so they're out. But I would, like, personally, I'm picking The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo also. I think it's better. Gone Girl versus The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I'm gonna have to go with Gone Girl. I don't think I've ever hated a movie character more in my life than Amy.
Yeah.
And, like, she's so shitty that first watch, you're definitely, like, not used for a film character to be so despicable, in my opinion. For, like, a general audience in a theater.
Yeah.
And you're, like, really with Ben Affleck, who at this time, he had a good 4-year run of just putting out bangers. So you go in and knowing he's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, she's such a fucking cunt. I hate her. And then you rewatch it. And like the first time you watch it, you're almost scared.
Sure.
Terrified.
Yeah.
Because this is something that could really actually happen. It's not like this out of the ordinary of like supernatural or anything like that. And then you watch it again and you're like, man, he's kind of a shithead too.
Yeah, he's awful. He's like a bad dude. Not in the way that she is bad, but like, you can understand why she hated her life so much, you know?
And then the ending is like...
Yeah.
Bro, it's so good.
Yeah. The ending leaves you with so many questions that, like... it's one of the few times where it's like, I prefer to think about all the possibilities rather than you, like, give me an answer. Yeah. Gone Girl's really good. It does just as good of a job of building up suspense. It doesn't feel as dark, but that's just because, like, 90% of this movie literally takes place in the dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, the twists and turns in this movie, it's like, you know, I feel like everybody's probably seen it by now. So it's like, oh my God, somebody killed this girl, she's dead. Did Ben Affleck do it? And the movie's just trying to convince us that he didn't.
Bro, it made Tyler Perry a good actor.
And then I literally was going to say earlier, like, the only good movie Tyler Perry's in. But then you're like, oh shit, she's alive. And then you're like, oh shit, she's doing this stuff. And then she freaking slits Neil Patrick Harris's throat. And then, like, the way she comes back and forces his hand because he forced her hand is just like, it's nuts, man. Great movie.
Cat and mouse.
I agree with you. I think this is the better movie. And then in the final, we have Fight Club versus Gone Girl. Yeah, that's tough.
Fight Club is great and lovely and wonderful, terrific for 5 years. And then it's like, oh, that's great, and it's nostalgic. Gone Girl is a film that's timeless. I think it's going to be great forever. 5 years ago, I had long hair, and if I still had long hair, I'd be pulling it and punching myself in the face for saying what I'm about to say, but Gone Girl, I'm picking over Fight Club.
Yeah, it's so interesting. We agree, I don't know, probably more times than we disagree.
90% of the time.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's for like completely different reasons. I have nothing to say because you said exactly what I was going to say. How I was going to word it was literally just, Fight Club is great. Like, if you've never experienced a movie with like a real hard turn in it. The first time you see this, it's incredible because not only is there a great twist in it, it's mixed in with its anti-capitalism message, but the movie is also questioning like what means justify rebellion, essentially. Yeah. Like, you know, like at what point do you go from an activist to a terrorist? But Fight Club is still, in a lot of ways, very much so a product of its time.
Yeah.
And what I was like, I agree with your point wholeheartedly. Gone Girl is like never gonna have that problem. Like, it is always just going to be a really, really good movie that like will stand the test of time. And honestly, the older it gets, will eventually be talked about as one of the greatest thrillers of all time, one of the greatest mystery films of all time, one of the most suspenseful films of all time. And so, as hard as it is, because of what Fight Club meant to me many, many moons ago,
like it shaped us, like how we think.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
yeah,
a less.
Mm-hmm. There are so many movies that I wouldn't have liked if I didn't see Fight Club first. You know,
but Gone Girl, Alfred Hitchcock could have directed that.
Yeah,
and instead of slitting the throat, you turn the camera. She reaches for the blade. The camera turns, and you hear Neil Patrick Harris scream.
Yeah,
that's the Alfred Hitchcock.
Maybe some ketchup gets thrown on a wall or something. But
Gone Girl,
right?
Like different camera techniques, less is more. Show what makes it. You know what I'm saying? But timeless. So good. Top 5 favorite thrillers of all time. That'd be the hardest list we would make. But
that would be tough. Yeah.
Let us know in the comment section below how we're wrong in the social networks better. Scroll back up and like button, share the video, and subscribe.